I'm Jesse Draper, the Valley Girl. What does your company do? Have you ever Googled yourself?
Totally.
What makes a great entrepreneur? What's your next big idea? Tweeting's like my favorite. Let's talk business.
I'm like the Valley Girl.
MetricStream is a company that helps manage all sorts of risk for companies such as NASDAQ, UBS, or Pfizer. Shellye Archambeau is the CEO of MetricStream. She also loves cooking and listening to jazz music.
Well, here we are with Shellye Archambeau of MetricStream. So how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. I love that you're wearing pink, and it's my favorite shade of pink, and you look fabulous.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I love bright jewel tone colors, so this is just perfect.
I know, there isn't enough color. You know, people don't wear enough color.
I agree.
So I really appreciate that. Now, you were just saying you went from France to Jamaica to...
Actually, the history of my name.
of your name,
exactly.
Archambeau.
Archambeau, that's right. It actually started out in France with a D, so it was D apostrophe. Archambeau had an X at the end.
Wow.
Then moved to Jamaica. Turns out a Frenchman who was a sailor went through Jamaica, decided to get married and make a life in Jamaica, dropped the D, and then after another generation dropped the X, and then his offspring migrated to the States.
That's so cool that you know all that history.
Actually, we have a family Bible.
Do you really?
We do. We are so fortunate where they used to record, you know, all the births and things like that. So we actually have the history.
I am going to start a family Bible in my family. What is MetricStream? How would you describe it to someone who, you know, knows nothing?
MetricStream is a company that works with other companies to help them change the way they manage risk. You know, risk is a huge problem right now. You can't pick up a paper or a newspaper,
Business is risky.
Right? Absolutely.
Shellye, business is risky.
It absolutely is. And so managing that risk, right, in a positive way is what we help companies do, because today they spend way too much time looking in the rearview mirror, right? What happened? Why did it happen? How do we mitigate against it? Well, it's hard to go forward 100 miles an hour if you're looking in the rearview mirror. We help them look in the forward mirror to help them plan what could happen, what are the possibilities, how do we handle, avoid, mitigate, so they can actually move forward, because we think by moving from managing risk to thriving on risk, it'll enable companies to be more innovative and more successful.
You basically try to negate risk as much as possible, and you help companies follow rules as well.
Right. If you think about it, it's not that we're trying to negate risk. You know, risk isn't necessarily that bad four-letter word, right?
Yeah.
Risk is something that if you manage properly, it can actually become an advantage for you. So what we help companies do is basically understand, manage, have visibility into all their risks, so they can put the right controls in place and or the right mitigating activities and or the right innovations to change. I mean, if you look at it, Microsoft Windows, which is the broadest used operating system the free seats, that came about in risk management. They were trying to solve the risk of Apple back in 1990.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Right? So that's what spurred them, right, to be able to create it.
Right.
You know, MetricStream has got a portal that today is the #1 portal for GRC professionals, and it came about.
High five.
Hey, absolutely.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. And it came about because we were trying to figure out how do we manage the risk of a high cost of marketing, high cost of sales by trying to go out and find all prospective clients, right? How do we make sure we're not emailing them too much and spamming them? Well, if we could figure out how they could come to us instead of us trying to find them, then obviously that would be better, right?
Definitely.
So risk management led us to actually launch Compliance Online, which is a portal for professionals in this space where we offer value, best practices, training. So now they come and register because they get value. And now we have a chance to see and understand who's out there, what are their needs, so we can make sure that what we're offering to the market is relative, meaningful, etc. Right? So Compliance Online, it came out of an innovation as a result of risk management.
What are some of the risks that companies deal with?
The risks fall into reputational risk, right? If something happens to a brand, we've seen companies out there where suddenly market cap drops 50% because an event, right, transpired that was bad for the company.
I would say Kim Kardashian's brand.
Yes.
When she got divorced, that was sort of bad.
Oh, absolutely.
It was bad PR for her.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that meant that her value of being able to get endorsements, et cetera, dropped significantly, right?
Exactly.
That's reputational risk.
Okay.
Perfect example.
Okay.
You have financial risk, which frankly we all just lived through for the last, 3 years. So I don't think I have to explain that one. You have operating risk. which is how you operate your company and what's transpiring. So there are just literally hundreds of different types of risk.
What are you really excited about that you're doing right now that you're working on?
We're excited about several things. One, our international expansion.
Oh, that's
so,
great.
Yes, we now have customers on every single continent. And it's
That's
just
amazing.
And it's just fantastic to see the overall growth, because bottom line is risk is a global issue.
Oh, definitely.
Right? And companies are global, so they're operating everywhere. So the needs they have are basically the same. And because of
congratulations on that,
Thank
because
you.
it's very difficult to expand globally. How do you guys do that?
We have an international team, so we have people spread throughout the world. We also have a strong network of partners, which makes all the difference in the world to bring kind of that local dynamic, right, to help us with that overall approach. So all that's enabled us.
How big are you?
How big are us? We're over 650 employees.
So big.
You're
pretty big.
We're a good size. We're a good size. And the good news is we're growing very well. Matter of fact, we are growing probably faster than any other independent company in our space.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really, really amazing. Do you guys do anything with like data collection?
When you look at risk is in essence a big data problem.
Yes.
Because it's everywhere. Think of a large company. You know, we talked about something, whether it's UBS or it's Constellation Energy, big companies, they've got data information risks throughout the overall enterprise, and frankly the extended enterprise, right? Because it's through their partners, suppliers, etc.
Oh, definitely.
So just pulling all that information together and finding those, that risk intelligence, the needle in the haystack, right, piece is a challenge, and we absolutely help them with that.
Have you ever thought about that? Laying down in a haystack and then a needle actually being in there? Now, Shellye, I want to talk a little more about you, because you were formerly in marketing, sales and marketing.
That's right.
And you were at Blockbuster, right? You
yes.
did a lot with them. And you wrote a book on marketing.
I did.
That's amazing. So you tell me about that.
Oh, sure. So wrote a book called Marketing That Works.
Which is the best kind of marketing.
Exactly. And it was really focused on kind of taking the entrepreneurial marketing ideas and showing how companies of any size can really leverage those techniques to help them drive better business performance.
You're involved in a lot of different things. You do some nonprofit or some communities?
I do.
What are you involved in?
I'm a big believer in giving back.
I agree.
And
very important.
Absolutely, because none of us achieve the things that we've achieved as a result of just ourselves.
Right.
It's a result of a whole lot of people, a whole lot of experiences, a whole lot of inputs all happening, right, to enable you to do what you want to do. So I'm involved, I'm on the board of directors of an organization called Watermark.
Okay, great.
And Watermark is really focused on women and helping and supporting women to achieve, right, what they want to achieve with their overall career. And
women.
Absolutely. I'm also on the board of an organization called the Silicon Valley Leadership Group. I don't know if you're familiar with that group.
Yeah,
so really trying public policy, really working with state, local, federal level to ensure that the needs of Silicon Valley, driving the overall growth, innovation, etc., are understood, so we get the right types of policies put in place to enable and support that, which is important for employers,
so important.
But it's also important for employees, right, and just citizens of the Valley.
And a lot of people starting companies and people,
absolutely,
for everybody.
For sure.
I just have one last question for you, which is, you have obviously had a lot of success as a woman in business. What advice do you have for other women in business? What, one piece of advice would you leave with a young woman who's about to enter this world and wants to eventually hold a position like you one day?
Take risks.
From the woman who helps manage risk.
Exactly, because that's what it's all about.
It's true.
If you manage it, then you can understand it, you can take it, and you can ultimately thrive on it. What I see is so many people pull back, especially women. They just hesitate a little bit. Am I really ready? Do I have all the skills? Do I have all the experience?
You're ready.
The answer is take the risk. Think about what is the worst that can happen. The worst that can happen is maybe in that particular role or with that particular project, you aren't successful. But that's not right. But that's not a negative. You learn, absolutely, you learn from that, and then next time you're going to be so much better. Right? Whereas if you don't take the risk at all, that's a whole learning that you've now missed on the opportunity.
And it's a
regret. Therefore you can't, exactly, it's the same thing in business, right? You want to take risks, but the way to take risks is to understand and to manage, and then once you take them, you can actually thrive on them. So it's all about thriving on risk.
You are fantastic. You were just fun. You're very inspiring. Thank you so much for doing this interview.
Oh, absolutely, Jesse. I enjoyed it.
Thank you so, so much.
Absolutely. And you gave me an excuse to wear pink at work today.
I'm so happy. I'm going to go check out everybody wearing pink around the office.
I want everyone to count how many people are wearing pink today.
Another pink shirt.
It's pink. I love it. It makes me so happy. It's close. Very close to pink. Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you for wearing pink today. That just makes my day.
Yeah, we aim to please.
Good luck with the business plan. We'll let you get back to work. Sounds pretty important.
Yeah, see you in 2030.
Okay. I'm like the Valley Girl.
And I'm like Shellye Archambeau of MetricStream.
And now it's time for your DITS moment. Have you ever thought about that? Laying down in a haystack and then a needle actually being in there.
Oh man,
Oh,
it would suck to find that needle.
Oh, exactly. But see, then
But you need to find the needle.
Right, I was gonna say, but you're talking about finding it by accident. Imagine if you're not looking at a haystack and you've actually got to go find it. I would submit that's actually worse.